Live from WOWT, this is a First Alert 6 weather day.
And it is a First Alert weather day on this Thursday. It's good to have you with us. I'm Erin Hartley.
And I'm Cerise Cole, along with Jared Lansford, Senior Chief Meteorologist Rusty Lord. Of course, the big weather story is we have had our first snow of 2025. The good news is it's all dunsies, Rusty.
Yeah, we're expecting it to be a pretty quick hitter.
Okay.
It arrived a couple hours ahead of what we anticipated, but it put a coating of snow on the roads to start off the day, and that's the big story with this, is the coat that's on the ground right now. We don't have any new snow to add to that today, so let's get a look at what we have happening with this today. So we wait for it here.
Wait for
Maybe.
it.
Hello.
All right, let's send it off over to Marie in the storm tracker and see how those roads are looking as of right.
The show.
Hey, Rusty. Thanks so much. Yeah, we are out here down in the Old Market area, just taking one final look out here at the road conditions. Throughout the morning, when we first started here around 5 o'clock, that snow was really coming down, and we were in the same area. Streets were covered, cars were covered. We saw a couple people just cleaning off their cars, getting ready to go for the morning. But now it's a pretty different story. So let me turn around the camera, give you a look at what it's looking like out here this morning as people are heading out for the first time after the holiday. The roads pretty much are pretty much clear for these main roads down here downtown, and that's pretty much the story around the metro. Now, if you take a look to the right-hand side of your screen, you'll see those side streets. A little bit of a different story there. Not as clean. You want to take your time if you are coming out from your neighborhood, getting ready this morning to get everything ready to go before you head out to work if you are working today or if you're traveling. But once you get to those main roads, the story's a little bit different. You should be pretty safe to go, but definitely take your time this morning as you are heading out. We were also on the interstate earlier this morning too. Pretty good there. Not too many problems at all. Jarrett was reporting on a couple crashes that did happen, so definitely keep your eye out and be safe no matter where you are driving. But the roads were definitely clear out there within the past hour, especially as we've been heading out down in that area. We were also in Iowa a little bit earlier too, on the Iowa side of our viewing area. A little bit more slick on the roads over there, but not too bad still. Those main roads, same story. Those were clear. The side streets still have a little bit of work left to do as far as those go, but we'll definitely keep you updated if there is anything else going on here all throughout the day on air and over on our website, firstalert6.com. So I'll send it back to you guys.
Appreciate the live report from Maria Cade. So Mother Nature easing us in. We got a little bit of snow, and that's all we're going to get for this morning.
Yeah, we're done with this round, so we're not going to put any new stuff on the road. So everything the road crews are doing to get that off there is they're going to get ahead of the game here. There's where the snow is that's sliding off towards the east. Very intense band of snow traveling along I-80 heading towards Des Moines. This is what we call a snow squall warning, where it'll quickly drop visibility with an intense heavy round of snow and make travel very dangerous as this races through. So we're done with that. Even Red Oak, Shenandoah, Atlantic in our viewing area, pretty much done. So this round over with. We're going to keep it a first alert day just through the morning commute, so you're aware of what's going on. Jarrett's going to show you where the worst spots are here shortly. You can see just that tiny little batch of snow, and it's going to travel along these counties here in this winter weather advisory and follow along I-80 here the rest of the morning hours. So it did pretty well with our snowfall forecast here. Up to an inch in the metro. We've had a 0.6 and a 0.8 so far, the two reports that have come in. 1 to 3 where that tracked and got going, and now it's going to go. Wouldn't be surprised if we end up having a little heavier band back here north of Des Moines with this as it's rolling through. But for our area, the forecast worked out pretty well, and now here at 7 o'clock, there's where it is, sliding off towards the east. Maybe a couple of flurries here in the morning with some of the thicker clouds. You got low 30s by noon, and then into the afternoon by 3 o'clock, we're looking at about 33 for the afternoon high. So we will get a chance to melt a little bit. Plus, this is a good temperature range for the brine to work, for the salt to work. We're sitting in that sweet spot, which is good to know. By 5 o'clock, a little late day sunshine, too little too late though. We'll fall off into the 20s tonight, so watch out for some refreeze heading towards tomorrow morning as temperatures dip down into the lower 20s and some clouds filter through. Now, a couple of tricky days here. I think we could have some flurries tomorrow with a high of only 22 and then 19 for the high on Saturday. with clouds and a 40% chance of snow. It's a little tricky. There may be a morning round that clips some of our northern counties, and then after 6 o'clock, some more try to move in late in the day. And that late round might be the problematic round.
As we've been talking about also for days too, like today is also just the first kind of day that we're seeing a series of first alert days. Sunday, Monday also got to watch out too.
Yeah, Monday the kids are heading back to school, so that's a big day. You're going to put a lot more traffic on the roads. Happy to say that first alert day is mostly about the temperatures. Happy to say? That might have been the wrong choice. But that one's only about the temperatures. The snow is mostly on Sunday morning and into the early afternoon. It'll actually get going late Saturday night and fill up heading into Sunday morning. So that's what we're watching for. On track for possibly the highest snow totals of the season out of Sunday. Bulk of it's going to fall early Sunday into the early afternoon. Highest amounts likely to be south of I-80, south of the metro. And then by Monday, we're talking sub-zero wind chills. Yeah, the high of 10, likely to be colder than that to start off the day, obviously, with wind chills well below zero. Now, we have a winter storm watch. That's the blue shaded counties you see here in our southern counties. So this is right now is where the heaviest snow is anticipated as we speak. We got to dive into the numbers, into new model data here, and we'll put together an official snow forecast map for our area here as the day goes along. But that's where it's most likely to get some 6-inch or more totals down near the Kansas border out of this one. So again, we're talking about this here. Skip past that. I threw that in a couple times. You'll notice here by Monday morning, there's your wind chills down near 10 below in the morning hours to start off the day. And that's going to be after we put a fresh coating of snow on Sunday. So we're going to have some cold weather there to talk about. So there you go. Out of the next 5 days, 3 of them are first alert weather days. Still got some snow potential even Friday and Saturday, but those may a little lower impact. And then cold next week. So it's going to struggle. How much snow we get on Sunday is going to greatly impact our weather next week and how much we can warm up. But I still think a couple of mornings with the air temperatures below zero are going to sting a little bit as well. So here in just a little bit, if you stick with us, over at the touchscreen, we're going to talk a little bit more about how Sunday snow kind of moves through the area and where the bigger numbers are going to be.
Okay. Meantime, we got to get all those warm clothes out.
Yeah.
Make sure we're
layer up.
Washed,
yeah.
ready to go.
All right. You have been watching the road conditions on this snowy morning, and what are you finding?
Well, it's especially in Iowa, where we're having a little bit more of our problems this morning.
Okay.
If you're in the metro, still use caution as you're heading out and about. There are some slick spots, but we were talking about some of the pre-treatment that's been done. You saw from Maria and the Storm Tracker how things were looking pretty good on a lot of the main roads in the metro. Watch those side streets coming out of the neighborhoods. There are a couple of roads showing up with some patchy coverage. Maybe you would encounter a slick spot here and there, but when I zoom out, you're going to notice how much more things light up with colors in Iowa. You've got a lot of our roads in that pink shading. As a reminder, when you're looking at the road conditions map, since we haven't looked at this a lot this winter, you see the green, that's pretty normal driving conditions. The blue, partial coverage, whether it be of snow, of ice, of whatever it is. In this case, it is snow. And you've also got the pink being the complete coverage. That's what you're seeing in much of Iowa, and that's where we've had more of our crashes taking place. Not all of them. We did have one that was in place right here on 144 southbound, right near Highway 370. That has now cleared, so you've got all lanes open in that area again. So good news there. You can see just the traffic map's kind of catching up, but this crash has been cleared away at this point. Good news there. But we are looking at, when we zoom things out, a little bit of a slowdown there on westbound I-80 right near 144th. Keep an eye on that. Other spots where people are using a little extra caution, you can see how things are slow on 680. That's one of the spots where we've had some snow that's been on the roads in the metro. And then when we get a little further to the east, still have that crash eastbound on I-80 near Walnut, Iowa. The left lane remains blocked. Looked like a vehicle maybe spun out as a result of some of the conditions there. Highway 6 just off to the west of Oakland, Iowa. Also a crash that's still in place there. So Pottawatomie County seeing some of the issues. Iowa in general is where we're seeing the worser conditions. If you're not in Iowa, still use caution. Okay. But it's definitely looking better if you're further to the west.
Okay. Good to know.
Sure, thanks. Authorities say at least 15 people have died. Dozens more are hurt after a pickup truck drove through a crowd on Bourbon Street in New Orleans. The FBI says they are investigating the attack as an act of terrorism.
The suspect, 42-year-old Hasham Masood Dinjabar, authorities say he crashed the truck opened fire on police and was killed. President Biden spoke about the attack last night.
I directed my team to make sure every resource is made available to federal, state, and local law enforcement to complete the investigation in New Orleans quickly and to make sure there is no remaining threat to the American people.
The FBI says Din Jabbar was an Army veteran. He had weapons and an improvised explosive device in the truck, as well as an ISIS flag on the back of it.
Reaction now from local leaders pouring in. Omaha Mayor Gene Stothert saying, and quote, "The New Year's Eve attack in New Orleans shows us again that those who threaten the safety of our citizens have no regard for life. In Omaha and all American cities, we must remain intensely focused on public safety so everyone can live safely, travel safely, and attend public events and celebrations safely." On the other hand, Senator Pete Ricketts releasing a statement saying, and quote, "I am praying for the families and loved ones of those killed and injured. The FBI must fully investigate how this happened."
It was an attack one Omaha man says could have happened anywhere.
That's right. In fact, just days before the new year, the combat veteran, former police officer, and now tactical instructor posted online tips to stay safe during these kinds of attacks. Now, First Alert 6 spoke with Trevor Thrasher after this tragedy about what you should do in a situation like this.
There it is again. You may not be able to do something to prevent it, but you can do something to prevent being a casualty from it. When you're sitting down, maybe sit in a position where you can look out towards the street, avoid a channelized area, find some type of hard barricade that's nearby, so if there's trouble, you can at least get to it quickly. So it's about doing the little things. You still want to enjoy yourself, but you've got to have a little bit of a plan, maintain a little bit of awareness, and make sure you can enjoy yourself safely.
Mentally rehearsing what you do in these situations can also help avoid what Thrasher calls condition black, where you fear and then panic makes you just freeze.
Well, we're taking a live look right now at the Caesars Superdome. This is home of the Sugar Bowl, which is less than a mile from where that attack happened. Now, the Sugar Bowl since been postponed till today. The matchup between Georgia and Notre Dame begins at 3 o'clock this afternoon. You can watch it on ESPN.
And of course, we're staying on top of this story for you, and we'll have the latest on air and online at firstalert6.com. Our streaming is going to be back after this.
Welcome back, everybody. So it's already, I feel like, a struggle when people head back to work after the long holiday weekend. Now they have some snow to worry about as well.
That's the thing. That's what we were worried about with this one, putting a little coating on the road, making it a little more difficult to get up and get rolling. So be mindful of the side streets this morning as you're heading out. We're done with any snow falling in the area, but you can see it's heading east towards Des Moines and along I-35. So it's just this little batch. But as you can know, a little snow can go a long way, especially when we haven't seen a ton so far this season. There's a snow squall warning where a really intense batch of snow is falling and dropping visibility greatly along I-80 as it marches east towards Des Moines. So they get a pretty nasty morning commute in the Des Moines area. That's what I was worried about for us. We got our snow on the ground before the commute, and now it's done falling, but it's going to track right along this with the winter weather advisory all the way along I-80 across Iowa with that snow marching in that direction. You can see glistening roads there, I-80 as you cross over into Iowa, and nothing horrible out there right now, at least on this view. We're going to be in the 20s for a couple hours this morning and then climb up to 33 for the high. Hopefully get a little late day sunshine, maybe too little too late though. Probably not going to help us out a ton. Let's focus on the next round of snow. It should start late Saturday, last into Sunday morning at least, maybe even into the early afternoon, and then Arctic chill on Monday with hopefully a little sunlight breaking through, a high of only 10. But that's going to lead to some sub-zero wind chills in the morning hours as kids head back to school Monday morning. The snow, well, it's on track for the highest snow totals so far this season. We're going to tack on a few more inches in quite a few spots and maybe even get some big numbers south of the metro. Let me show you what I'm talking about here. Winter storm watch in place. It's the blue shade here up on the legend, and you'll notice parts of southeast Nebraska down into Kansas, likely going to be extended east as we go a little later on in the day today. That's the highest likelihood of getting 6 inches, maybe even a little bit more out of this next round of snow that starts Saturday night and lasts into Sunday. A little bit of a complex setup for Saturday. Here's the deal. We may start off with this little stripe of snow trying to reach into our area early on Saturday morning. I don't think it's a huge problem, but we got to watch this. Can't ignore it completely. And then during the afternoon on Saturday, a little bit more fills into our south. It's after 6 o'clock when that just fills in more and more. By midnight Saturday night, you can see a few inches in some spots, and then heading into Sunday morning, we tack on more. And that's why you can see by Sunday morning, we're still adding a little bit more snow. Heaviest snow may end up being down to the south along I-70. Those purple shaded areas could be some 6-inch plus totals pretty darn easy along I-70. So as you can see, Sunday, south to Kansas City, that's going to be really tough. The farther south you go, the closer you get to Kansas City, the worse the roads are going to be. So let me talk a little bit about that here. So Saturday, we'll show you what I'm thinking. There's this little stripe of snow. Watch how it just kind of noses down in early in the morning. There's not going to be much to it, but that could be a light coating that drifts through some of our northern counties to start the day Saturday. And then we just wait for the air to saturate on Saturday. It's going to take a while. That's why I think most of Saturday's probably okay. Get some snow to the west, snow to the south. Looks a little more ominous than it's actually going to be. It'll be Saturday night, overnight, when this map really starts to fill in after 10 o'clock heading into Sunday when things start to pick up in intensity and coverage. So let's take you through Sunday. Early in the morning hours, it fills in. Maybe a few lulls even early in the morning from time to time. The big batch sets up in our southern counties, and you can see why the bigger numbers are going to be to the south early in the morning on Saturday. That's where the worst of it's going to be. And then it slides to the east, and by the afternoon, we should start to see this migrate off towards the east and a cold, cold start to Monday, the way things are appearing. So there's your first Alert 6 weather days. Today's pretty much going to be done by the end of the morning drive, and then all the attention turns to Sunday and Monday.
Sunday and Monday, I was just about to say so. So what should people expect as we head into next week, too?
First full week of the year, of the month, cold. A lot of it. And we put a little snow on the ground Sunday, and that makes it even colder. It'll be tough to warm up most of next week. And there's another system lurking maybe towards the end of next week we'll pay attention to, see how that one plays out. But upper teens and 20s on the way. You look a little longer range. It still looks like the east half of the country is going to be the coldest. The west half is going to be the warmest. And that's what we'll be tracking here with little waves of snow trying to dart in. So we talked about it last week. Winter's getting started here as we start off the new month and the new year, and we're tacking on little by little. We got to keep an eye on Sunday. If there's a shift north, that can mean some bigger snows for Omaha. So.
All right. Thanks, Russ.
I know. Positive news. Positive news.
Well, speaking of the roads.
Yeah. Let's talk about them.
Yeah.
And as you're making your way out and about, here's what we've got going on. Let's give you a quad box view of what we're seeing, and a view throughout the metro. And you could see things definitely picking up a fair bit as you're making your way near I-80 right around 144th. We noticed that little slowdown that was showing up there, just an increase in traffic, and people using a little extra caution is what we've got going on. Not a bad idea as we're making our way out and about this morning. But you can see Dodge looked pretty good this morning. We don't have really any issues showing up as you're making your way on I-480 right near the Missouri River. Watch some of those side roads, though, and as you're making your way through some of the hills in Council Bluffs, that's where we could have some more of those slick spots that are in place. Little slowdown showing up westbound on I-80 as you're getting close to about 60th, 72nd. I'll keep an eye on that. And then especially in Iowa, where we've had more of the snow coverage that's been in place, you've got some of the roads in that direction that have some delays. We've been doing fairly well, though, with some of that pre-treatment that was put on the roads. That has limited some of the damage from this early morning snow. Still a good idea, though, as you're heading out and about, to use a little extra caution, guys.
All right, Joe, thanks so much. Well, a new kind of New Year celebration.
Yeah, we'll look at the festive way people are taking to the streets when First Alert 6 streaming returns.
Well, a New Year's tradition for the city of Philadelphia.
Yesterday morning kicked off the annual Mummers Parade. So this is considered America's longest running folk parade, delighting visitors for more than 120 years. As you can see, the parade features dancing, colorful costumes, along with music. I mean, they are getting their groove on, right? It is a favorite event for many in the area.
It's too bad. The person who could probably tell us a little bit more about that is not sitting here with us, Maria.
Yeah, Maria.
I know, she's our
She's
Pennsylvania little connoisseur. She can tell us
we should have had her do a phoner.
I know.
I bet she's been.
Yeah, it looks fun now.
All right, everybody, thank you so much for joining us here. We're going to get ready for our update in the Today Show. You can watch it here on First Alert 6 streaming or over the air.
That's right. Have a great start to your Thursday.
Live from WOWT, this is a First Alert 6 weather starts now.
A good Thursday morning, everybody. It is 7:26. I'm Cerise Cole.
And I'm Erin Hartley. It is a First Alert weather day. We'll get you updated on the forecast this morning with Rusty Lord.
Yeah, let's talk about The snow is done in the metro and done in our viewing area. There's the batch that caused the problems. It's racing east. It's going to be a rough morning commute in Des Moines. Those are snow squall warnings. Pretty intense drop in visibility and pickup in snow rates there. We have seen our snow move through, and that batch is going to cause problems across Iowa now. And it was a quick hitter, but boy, it's packing a punch as it moves through. Now we have temperatures in the 20s with less than an inch of snow on the ground in the metro. Higher numbers up here with 2 to 3 inch snows in parts of west central Iowa, and temperatures a little bit colder there. Now, thankfully, the wind's not going to pick up much, so that'll gust to near 15 miles per hour today. First alert forecast shows how we climb to about 33 for the high. So not much movement, but a little bit of warmth this afternoon. Hopefully a little late day sunshine as we chip away and melt this right now. Jarrett?
Watching the road conditions this morning, and we're seeing improvement out there on a lot of the metro roads. We've had that early morning snow long gone, and with the pre-treatment, we're doing pretty good. It's not a bad idea to use a little extra caution if you're heading out and about, but they're mostly holding up pretty well. Watch the neighborhood streets. And then as you make your way into Iowa, that's where we've had more of the issues. Complete coverage on many of our Iowa roads, and also off to the north of the metro is where we have more problems taking place. We'll continue to track this through the morning.
One person was treated at the hospital after an apartment fire that arrested for arson. This happened near 137th and Harrison at about 5:40 Wednesday evening. The fire's origin was tracked to one of the units where that suspect lives. 6 others are now unable to return back to their homes.
All right, it is 7:28, and we're back with another update for you in 25 minutes. We'll see you then.